Hey y'all, it's your girl, Coach Takara Nicole. And listen, I was not gonna come on today because I'm a little tired, but in the manner of or just wanting to remain consistent, I decided that I wanted to keep going, right? And sometimes that ain't about what we feel. I don't have to be on here too long. Just for a little bit. So I'm gonna allow a couple people to come into the room. I know it was super spontaneous. I'm gonna tag some people in the room. Excuse me, I'm gonna tag some people in the room, and then we're gonna get started. Like I said, it's not gonna be too long, but I'm trying to work on my consistency in all of this. Sometimes it can be a little bit tough, and I know you guys are a lot of times in that same place where it's like I want to go live. I don't know what that looks like, and so listen, it's not because I perfected this thing or because I know it all. I'm right there with you, learning how to remain consistent and what I set out to do. And so that's exactly what we're going to talk about today. So I'm gonna tag a couple people in the room. You guys tag. Good morning, Stacy. I'm gonna tag some people in the room really quickly. Tell them to come in, and then we're gonna dive right into this conversation um, that I think everybody can benefit from. When you come on, say good morning so that I know that you're watching. And we're gonna dive into it. I've actually renamed this, was recently known as like the go moment, right? But I have decided to kind of rename it the build better. Because that's exactly what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to help us to build better. So while y'all are building, I think last week, good morning, Shanice. Last week, I gave everybody a challenge. And those of you that accepted the challenge, later on, I want you guys to drop in the chat, what did you do with the challenge? Right. But last week I gave everybody a challenge. What is one thing that you're going to do that's going to help you achieve your goals, work towards your goals, get you to the next step, get you to the next place. And so I challenge everybody just to do one thing. I don't need you to do five things because I think that's where we get messed up sometimes, trying to do 5 and 6 things at one time. But I'm going to challenge all of you to just do one thing. And so my one thing that I wanted to do was one, I had two, so I'm gonna give y'all both. One was what I'm doing right now, right? To be consistent. I wanted to increase my level of consistency in my going lives and just being more present in the coaching space. I feel like I've been present in the preaching space and posting preaching videos, going live in that area. However, I have not been consistent in this space. And so I said I really want to get to a place where I am more consistent and I'm showing up better in the coaching space. All right. So here I am. This is being consistent, whether you feel like you want to or not. I was tired, I was exhausted, had a really long week last week, but I was like, you know what? I made up in my mind that this is what I said that I wanted to do. So I was like, you know what? I can wake up, I can go live, and then guess what? I can go back to sleep afterwards. And so this is me showing up. Number two was I really wanted to look at the totality of my coaching business and what I was building and how can I build it better. This is how the name Build Better came about. So my weekly lives, when I go live now, I decided to name them Build Better. This does two things. Like it helps me to be consistent in what I'm building. Why? Because I want to build better, right? But it also creates a space for other entrepreneurs, other leaders, small business owners, people, period, that just want to build better to get the tools that they need. Okay, so today's topic is going to be so good. All right, y'all say good morning, say hello. I see y'all coming in. Say hello when you guys come in the chat so I know that you guys are watching. This is going to be a little touchy, but guess what? It's going to help us to build better. All right, so here's today. Good morning. Today's topic is you're not failing, you're repeating. Okay, you're not failing. Good morning, Taryn. You're repeating. And why do you keep starting over? All right. There are some of us that have to be honest. Good morning. Some of us, we have to be honest that it's not the fact that I don't have the ideas, I don't have the vision. You guys know, right? That's the story. It's not the fact that we don't have vision. It's not the fact that we don't have ideas, but it's the fact that we are repeating. And what do I mean by that? Is that we are constantly doing things that are not actually making any progress in execution. All right. And so it's not failure, it's not the lack of vision, but it is good morning. It is repetition. Okay. Somebody drop it in the chat. It's repetition. All right. Now, repetition is not a bad thing, but it's what you are repeating is what becomes the bad thing. All right. So have you ever looked up and you realize that you are back in the same place that you were a year ago? Right. You started the business, then you stopped. Right. You're working on your goals, then you stop. You get excited, then you stop. You lose momentum. You made another vision board, right? Then you started over. Good morning, brother. Good morning, Joshua. You made another vision board, then you stopped. You wrote things down, then you stopped. And so the problem for us is not the fact that we're failing, but we keep repeating the same thing over and over. And how many times have you looked up and you wrote down the same goal that you wrote 6 months ago, or 6 years ago, or 5 years ago, or 1 year ago? You just keep repeating the same goals, but what you have not repeated is the same actions, right? Because consistency is what is going to build results. Consistency is what's going to help us to see the thing that we're writing down. And so we can consistently write down what we want to do, right? However, we're not consistently doing the things that's actually going to lead to what it is that we are building. All right. So the problem isn't that we keep failing. The problem is what we keep repeating. And so today I want to help us to break the cycle of the confusing movements that we're doing that are not bringing us progress. All right. I don't know about you, but I want to see progress. Is there anybody else on the line to say, hey, that's me? Like, I want to see progress. I want to stop doing the same things over and over. So the number one thing I want us to remember is starting is easy, but sustaining is the challenge, right? Starting is the easy part, but it's the sustainability, sorry, what we're building that is what creates the moment, is going to create the momentum. And one thing I know is that we all get excited about something. We get excited about our idea, right? We get excited about the build, we get excited about what we see. But let me tell you something, the excitement is not going to build what you see. The excitement is not going to sustain it. Even us having excitement is not always going to bring the people. And so I think sometimes we even get a little frustrated with people because we don't understand why people are not supporting what we are building. We get frustrated because I can see this thing, but why aren't people catching on? Well, here's the thing. The Bible tells us to do what? Write the vision and make it plain, right? They cannot catch on with something like the excitement of it all. You tell your friend like, oh, I really want to, build this mentorship. I really want to build this business. And yes, in that moment, there is a level of excitement. But what do you do after what do you do after the excitement dies down? All right. So most people, we know how to start, right? But few people know how to sustain. Starting is exciting. Launching is exciting. I was talking to someone the other day and they were telling me the great things that they're doing, right? The external things that we could see. I see the logo, I see the website, and I'm like, all of those things are beautiful. All of those things look amazing. But I want to see the internal, because the internal of what you're building is the sustainability of what you're building. It sounds good to look a certain type of way, right? But what we're trying to get us to the point where is that we look our outside mirrors what's happening on the inside. And so we got people that go and they dress up their pain and they dress up their hurt, right? Because when I'm talking about building better, I'm not just talking about the business. I'm not just talking about the ministry. I'm not just talking about the things that you want to build. I'm also talking about the internal work, right? Because we do a great job of looking the part. How many times have we seen people and they got the bags and they got the cars, but then when you look at the internal of what they're building, they are failing. They look the part. You ever seen someone that walk in and they got a briefcase and they got the Louis bag, they got the shoes, they got the belt, they look the part, but as soon as they open up their mouth, there is no substance. I know I'm not the only one. You could have sat down, you could have left that, because they're so focused on looking a certain type of way and looking like they got it together and looking like they know what they're talking about and looking like, all the things. However, the internal part they did not do. They did not study. They did not lay before God. Ain't nothing worse than you come in and you look good and you about to get up there to go preach. And when you open up your mouth, people are bored. I mean, it's just the reality of what it is. You go and you do, you came in, you got this big old entourage of people. You got this entourage of people, and you look like you're somebody walking in the door. But as soon as you open up your mouth, we realize really soon that there is no substance. That's what I'm talking about, building better. So here's the thing: you're not failing, you're repeating. And I want us to stop repeating the cycle of looking a certain type of way, but we don't have no substance, looking a certain type of way, but there is no sustainment of what we are building. All right. So we're buying planners, we're creating logos, we're announcing the business, right? We make this post that says, oh, big things are coming. Oh, yeah, it sounds really cute. I can't wait to see y'all. This is my launch date. But what about sustainability? Right. And so that's where most of us, we have to be honest, we disappear. Listen to this, right? And I kind of relate the Bible in, I throw it in there, here and there in these moments. So Luke chapter 14 and 28 says this, though. It says, for which of you intending to build a tower, does not sit down first and count the cost, whether he has enough, good morning, Mo, whether he has enough to finish it. I'm gonna read that again. He says, for which of you intending to build a tower does not sit down first and count up the cost, whether he has enough to finish it. So again, the problem is not your idea. The problem is not that you don't have vision. The problem is not the fact that you don't have the idea. The problem is that you have not created a plan of sustainability. You have not created that foundation. You want to look good on the outside. However, the internal of what you're building is not present. The other aspect of this is counting up the cost. For those of you that are in the beginning phases of what you are building, for those of you that are just now starting out, you're just at the business idea, you're just at the beginning moment. Let me tell you, one of the best things you can ever do is you have to sit down. Hey, Leslie, you have to sit down and really look at what is it going to cost me, right? What is it going to cost me mentally, physically, and emotionally? Right? Because a lot of times we put ourselves out there and we bite off more than what we can chew. And I tell my clients this all the time, right? Is that it's okay to start out slow. It's okay to start out with one thing. Don't try to do 5 things. Start out with one thing. That's why last week's challenge was give me one thing that you're going to do. Because oftentimes you're trying to create 5 products when you don't have the sustainability, you don't have the time to create 5. You really only have the time to create 1. So the first thing you have to do is count up the cost. When you are going to a bank, I talked to you about this last week. When you are going to a bank and they are asking you, how much does it cost to fund what you are building? You have to know your numbers. How much does it cost? How much do your products cost? Do you know? How much does the building cost? How much does, and here's the next part, and then your time, because your time is your money. So oftentimes we haven't counted up the cost of the sustainability. So we were excited because we said, hey, I'm going to launch this business. But what you did not realize is that it's going to take 20 hours a week to work your business. Do you have 20 hours? If you don't have 20 hours to work your business, then guess what? It's going to stay in excitement mode, right? And then when it fails, you're like, oh my God, God didn't want this to happen. People don't support me. People don't love me. But let's be real. You don't even have the time to work your business to the level that you've put out there. If you don't have, okay, let me give y'all an example. So listen, I do hair. You guys know I do hair, right? And so it doesn't make sense for me to put out there that I'm going to be able to work this many hours a week when I know that I have to travel back and forth to Maryland. So my hours that I can work are, I work 3 days a week. I work Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. I work from 10 a.m. to about 7 p.m., sometimes a little bit later on those days. Those are the days that I commit to. It doesn't make sense for me to start adding on all of these different services and adding on all these different things to my life when I know I don't have the time. So oftentimes we count up the money. right? And I'm gonna be honest, money and resources, oftentimes it's not the problem. It's not the fact you don't have the money. The problem sometimes is you don't literally have the time to work the thing, or you have not made the necessary sacrifices. I want y'all to hear me. You haven't made the necessary sacrifices that it's going to take to get the thing that you desire. All right, y'all stay with me. All right. So here's the thing. Jesus wasn't talking about starting. He was talking about finishing, because everyone celebrates the beginning, but very few people prepare for the consistency. I'm going to say that again. We will celebrate the beginnings of the moment. I'm so excited. Oh, we launched the ministry. Yes, it sounds great. It sounds wonderful. But what we do not understand or prepare for is the consistency of what you now have launched, of what you now have said. All right. God isn't just interested in how we start, He's interested in your stewardship. Can you manage what you prayed for? Right. We are right now in the middle of building at the well. Right. And the most important aspects of what we are building is making sure that we do not go ahead of ourselves and that we are creating a healthy pace. These principles I'm giving you are for life. Anything you're trying to do requires a healthy pace. It requires a healthy build. It requires a healthy level of consistency. Y'all, listen, y'all know in the dating space, you know what we say is that don't do nothing that you cannot maintain, right? Don't do nothing that you cannot be consistent with, right? You got to be honest. I'm telling y'all, what I'm telling y'all about building better, it works in every area of your life. Don't give up more of yourself. Don't make yourself more available than what you can be. This is why relationships fail, because you make yourself so available to the point where it's hard for you to keep up. And now, you know, either person got a problem because they're like, well, in the beginning you was doing X, Y, and Z. In the beginning you was this type of person. In the beginning you was showing up like this. Well, yeah, I was showing up like this, you know, but the actuality, I really did not have the time. Come on. I really didn't have the time. And I was doing all of these things in the beginning. Why? Because we know how to start strong. However, we don't know how to finish strong. We are literally writing the same goals down every single month, every single year, year after year, month after month. I'm writing the same thing down. And here's the thing. You're not failing. You are repeating the same cycles of inconsistency, the same cycles of I love my logo, but I don't like the work. I don't like the sacrifice. All right. I don't have systems in place to handle my level of consistency. That's it, Leslie. I want to build better. All right. If you guys have any questions while I'm talking, please drop them in the chat and I will answer them. All right. So here's what I've noticed, that people often think they need another opportunity, another idea, another confirmation. But sometimes what we simply need are new habits. Somebody drop in the chat, new habits. New habits. I don't need new ideas. I don't need more resources. You don't need another confirmation. Some of y'all waiting for people to pull you out of the crowd, waiting for people to validate you. But in actuality, hey, Miss Juanita, the issue is that you need different habits. Your habits are what killing you. Your habits are what is killing your vision. Your habits are the reason why you are failing. What keeps us, what separates you from the millionaire is not even the level of money, because we always think, oh, because they got more money, that's the reason why they're able to see the progress and they're so successful. Because I'm gonna be honest, even there are businesses right now that were $1 million businesses. I'm out to help y'all. That were $1 million businesses that went under. Do you know why they went under? They went under because of their habits. Whether it's spending habits, whether it's work habits, whether they hire people and they're hiring the wrong people, right? It's the habits, y'all, that are keeping us from building well. Think about it. I'm telling y'all, I told y'all this works for everything, right? You want a new body. You don't like what your body looks like. What is separating you from the person that has the body you desire, right? In the one that you want? Because here's the thing, there are people that go and they pay for their bodies, but guess what? They still don't do the work. And if they don't do the work, guess what? They're still going to have that same snatch body, but then they're going to have these other areas that they're not going to like. What separates you from the person that has the money, that has the success, is your habits. Simply, what do you do every day? What does your repetition look like? Are you waking up early? Do you have a morning routine? Are you reviewing your to-do list? Are you disciplined enough to say no to certain things? Are you disciplined? There are hairstylists right now. They probably could make more money, but they're not disciplined in their no, right? I'm gonna tell you why. Because every time somebody goes away, every time somebody does something, they will cancel their client in order to go on a vacation. I've watched them do it and still keep people's deposits because it's your habits. So every year looks the same. Every launch looks the same. Every goal dies in 3 weeks. You say on you done wrote something so cute. I really want to lose 20 pounds in 90 days. Yeah, it sounds cute, but if your habits don't change, you're not gonna lose weight. I really want to be in a successful relationship. If your habits don't change, guess what? If you still keep repeating those same habits over and over again, you're going to keep being in the same type of relationship. I really have these desires for my business. I really want to launch this business, or I want to see my business go forth. But the problem is that you're not willing to change your habits. All right. We learned this last week, is that your calendar, it tells the truth, right? Because if it's not on your calendar, like we say in the business world, if it's not on the calendar, it's not real. What's on your calendar? My calendar looks crazy, but it's okay though. It's a good kind of crazy. It's color coded. I know where I'm supposed to be, when I'm supposed to be there, and how I'm supposed to be there. What does your calendar look like? Let me ask you that. What does your calendar look like? What do your alarms look like? What does your to-do list look like? You tell me your to-do list and I can tell you how successful you're going to be. You show me your calendar and I can tell you how successful you're going to be. Give me your habits and I can tell you how successful you're going to be. Give me your routine. Show me your systems. Because all of those things are a showing of your progress. They let me know exactly how successful you are going to be. And I talk to people, even my friends, on regular basic conversations. And I'm watching the success of their build, all because they chose to use a calendar. They chose to use a planner. They chose to put alarms in their phone. They chose to create a schedule that keeps them from starting over, because I know where I'm supposed to be, how I'm supposed to be there every day, every week. We love inspiration. It's not, it really gets on my nerves. That's why I got like a real basic planner, because we like the idea of buying these cute little $50 planners. They got all the stickers in them that you don't write in. You got these cute little planners. Oh, I brought it. I looked on TikTok and I got the stickers that go in the planner, and it looks so cute. It looks so cute, but you don't use it. You know why? Because we like the idea of things. We buy these cute little Bibles off of TikTok. I see y'all, they got all the little stickers in it. When's the last time you opened that Bible? You're not failing, you're repeating. You're repeating the same habits every day. And I know this is a tough conversation. That's why it's called Build Better, right? This is a hard conversation. And I know there's some people that's like, let me just log off because, I don't like this kind of talk. I didn't sign up for this. This is not what I wanted. And that's okay. But for those of you that want to build better, that want to be better, that want to stop repeating the same cycles over and over, that want to see real success in your life, I know y'all hear me today. Take an assessment over your life. Your future does not change by what you are inspired by. Your future is changed by what you do every day. How you consistently show up. That's it. You see, Miss Wanda, she said, I got a lot of cute things. We do. And it looks nice. But I want us to get from the place where we stop looking a certain type of way and we buying things based off of how they look, and we keep showing up. And here's the thing, I'm all for, sometimes you do have to still show up, like this morning, right? I don't feel like it, but I'm still showing up, right? Because of what I desire is greater than me wanting to sleep in this moment. I'm like, I can sleep after this. But we make a lot of excuses as to why it's not done. We got a lot. And here's the thing, and we can go and build everybody else's stuff. We can go and build what everybody else is doing. We can go and support everybody else. That's it, Nikki. I like that. I see y'all. I can use structure. I can use more structure. I be all over the place. Structure is important. Don't go get the cute calendar. Get the little $9 one. Start there and write down everything that you need to do. When you wake up in the morning, think about your life. What does it entail? What does it need? What does your morning look like? And don't let nothing stop your morning. Don't let phone calls stop your morning. Don't let scrolling on social media stop your morning. So important. Start with that little $9 one and be consistent. When you can be consistent with the $9 one, then I'm gonna tell you to go buy the 50. Because here's the other part, right? Is because a lot of us are financially challenged right now. We're financially challenged. But we go buy the things. Oh, this is so good. We go buy the things that make it look cute, because as if a cute planner or a cute Bible or something is going to make us want to write in it or make us follow it. It's not. It's your habits. And for guys that are watching, that's the only example I can give right now. I can't think of nothing that you guys kind of get. But y'all get the point of what I'm trying to say. That's it. I need to be more intentional with my time. My day literally is be work than the kids. Yes. Be intentional with your time. One of the exercises that I do, and I want y'all to write it down. One of the exercises that I do in my coaching is I tell people to really literally look at your week. Look at when you wake up in the morning to the time you go to bed, right? Wake up in the morning, by the time you go to bed. I want you guys to do this exercise, and it's going to tell you how much time do you really have. All right. It helps you the same way I tell you guys how to assess your money is the same way I'm going to tell you how to assess your time. So look at your week. On Mondays, what do you do? So if you say, listen, I wake up at this time, and then after I wake up, what do you do? Okay. Then maybe you go to work, and you go to work from like 8 to 4. What do you do when you get off of work? All right. If your kids are in sports, put that inside of the time, and then say from this time to this time, my kids are in X, Y, and Z. Okay. This allows you to see what you are doing. So literally in real time, I want you to write it down. Some of us actually see where we waste time. These are the pockets of time that I could be actually doing X, Y, and Z. All right. So consistency beats. I said, when we had I pray, plan, execute. I said, we have such a passion for things, and there's nothing wrong with being passionate, but your passion has to meet execution at some point. Your passion has to meet good habits, because a passion without good habits is still just passion. So I see people all the time. They come to me and they're like, here's my logo, here's my website, can you do an audit? And I'm like, the audit is so much deeper than a website and a logo. I need to know, what systems do you have in place? I need to know, what is your plan? I need to know, who do you serve and how do you serve them? I need to know your numbers. That's a big one. How much does it cost to do? Everybody in here, hear me. I realize that I be having free time, but yes, but it's wasted. Let me tell you guys, and I want y'all to drop this in the chat. I am the CEO of my life. This is why I'm telling y'all, I just cannot teach business, ministry, leadership without teaching you about you. You are the CEO of your life. You are the CEO of your life. And so, because you are the CEO of your life, you have to take control of your life. That's it, Nikki. I'm building a business, I'm building an empire, I'm building something for me and my children. You may not be even building a business, but you're like, what am I going to leave to my children? And I want to make sure that I am leaving good habits. I don't want my children and Nikki, and it's not, to be lazy. I don't want my children to waste time. It's the difference between taking moments to rest and like wasting time. I want my children to have good financial habits. I need my kids to know how to run the house. I need my children to know how to conduct themselves when they go out of the house. Clean up after yourself. See, some of you parents are frustrated because some of the basic things you haven't taught your children. So you come home and it's like you have to do absolutely everything. And the reason why you have to do absolutely everything is because you have not been the CEO of your life. You don't know how to delegate. Start at home. Those of you say, listen, I want to open up my own business. Start at home. If you got children, delegate. This is your job. This is your job. This is your job. This is what you need to do. I tell my children, I work all day. I'm not coming home to wash dishes. Now, if I'm cooking, I'm gonna wash them. But if y'all been at home all day and y'all have used these dishes, I'm not coming home. But I also had to make sure that I taught them how to wash dishes, because you get mad at their cleaning, but you didn't teach them how to clean because you think that they're supposed to automatically know. So that's why I said we're not failing, y'all. We're just repeating, and we're repeating the same bad habits. This is why I teach that how you do one thing is how you do all things. This is why your business is a mess. This is why your ministry is a mess, because a lot of times these same principles are not exercised at home. And if you have not learned it at home and you have not mastered it at home, you're going to take those same things over into whatever it is that you're building. But I can promise y'all something. Those of you that really have a strong desire to build a strong business, that have a strong desire to build an empire, you want to build wealth. I think that's everybody that's on the line that's watching. I want to build a level of wealth for my children. I want to leave something for my children. Well, listen, it starts with your habits. The reason why I really honestly believe that fasting that has so much to do with our eating is because eating is our biggest struggle. We struggle so much with being disciplined in our eating. But here's the thing, if you could ever get to the place where, I say this all the time, and I'm not perfect in this, but if you could ever get to the place where you perfect being disciplined in your eating, I'm going to tell you something. You will be disciplined in every area of your life. If you think about it, people that have gym routines, that meal prep, they are some of the most disciplined people you've ever met. I know y'all see them. You know why? Because they have learned how not to allow, this is so good. They have they have learned not to allow food to control their life. And if you could ever get to the place where your diet does not control you, then you can control everything else. It is so hard to get control over cravings and eating what you want to eat, and going out to eat and watching other people eat things that you really want to eat, and things that you've learned how to eat over time that you love, but you have to let it go because it's something bigger. I feel the Lord, because it's something bigger out there for me. And that's why I can say that when I'm watching these people they're like, ain't nothing coming before my gym time. I don't care what it is. I'm going to the gym. If I have to get up at 5 o'clock in the morning, I am going to the gym. Period. This is what I eat. They don't care what you eat. They will bring their own food to functions. That's how disciplined they are. But when are we going to become that disciplined in every area of our life? So you're not failing, you're repeating. You're not failing, you're repeating. And you're repeating the same habits every day. There's a quote that says like insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. And that's the place that a lot of us are in right now. We are doing the same thing over and over and over again. And we're expecting that we're going to get a different result, but we're still getting the same result. And that's why we keep starting over. You didn't rewrote that mentorship like 10 times. You didn't wrote it in different notebooks. And you got a bunch of notebooks with the same goals. You keep rewriting, I'm going to buy a house in 10 different notebooks. I want wealth. You done wrote it in 10 different notebooks. And all the notebooks have the same thing, but no results. How many times are you going to write those same resolutions on New Year's? You've been writing the same thing for the last 5 years. I'm going to lose weight. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. All the things that we keep saying we're going to do, and we keep starting over and over again. But we got to put the habits and the actions behind it. Thousands of notes. This is what I say. We got notes in our phone. Thousands of notes about the same thing. Oh my God, Nikki. She said, try a decade. 10 years of writing the same thing. But if your habits don't change, it's going to be another year with the same thing written down. So this is why I am doing next Thursday, 7:30. Okay. I'm doing a webinar. It's entitled Vision Without Execution. No, Vision Without Structure. Sorry. Vision without structure is frustration. Because many of us, like, one thing about it, like I said, I've always tried to keep, me being who I am in the kingdom and like my coaching separate. But then I realized that it's hard for me to keep her separate because it's just who I am. But what I kept feeling over and over, I was like, people are frustrated. And I know it's some of you that are on the line right now. You are so frustrated in what you are building. You are so frustrated in what you see. Some of you are like, what do I even focus on? Right? What is the first step that I even need to do? And so that's why I created this webinar. And I said, it's just easier for me to like, let's get everybody on the line, everybody that's dealing with the same thing. Let's just have the conversation. Right? How do we really create structure? And I wanted to do it, and I give out value now. So if you got what you needed, okay, cool. Right. But the reason why I'm doing it on a Zoom is so that we can have the conversation, we can have the dialogue through lives. I can kind of read the comments, I can kind of see what you're saying, but Zooms give me the opportunity to be able to really talk to you. All right. So the QR code is up there. I am going to also, you can also text structure. Let me see where it's at. You can also text structure to this number. And it's also going to, there we go. You can also text structure. They'll automatically send you the link so that you can sign up. But what I find is that a lot of us are in this same place. You're not alone. You're not the only one. We are frustrated in the building. We are frustrated because we have a burden for something. We are frustrated because I can see it. Some of you are even in the build right now, and you already know that there's no structure in this. You keep doing the same thing over and over again. People are showing up, but there is no structure. So I want to help you. I want to give you the opportunity to ask questions. I want to give you guys the roadmap, the layout, the things that I do every single day that help me in what I am building, that keep me from repeating the same thing over and over. I think a lot of times people see, and it is, they're like, I see the results of what you were doing. That's why some of y'all follow, you get on the line, you hop on because you're like, I see the results. Well, guess there's a formula, there's structure behind this. And so if you're like, listen, I want to see success. I'm tired of being in the same place year after year after year, moment after moment. I got people here's the biggest one. I got people that I'm leading. And the people that I'm leading, they're frustrated with me. My team is frustrated with me. My family is frustrated with me. Listen, I knew I had to get structured with my kids. I was getting on their nerves. You cannot get mad. Let me say right here real quick. I'm gonna park here. Okay. And you can pick this up. You cannot have a good day, Nikki. You cannot get mad at your kids because there's no structure in the home. You cannot get mad at your spouse because there's no structure in your home. You cannot get mad at your leadership team because there is no structure. And oftentimes we get mad at the people that we are building with because they're like, where are you at? Why aren't you helping me? But the reality is that they don't even know how to help you because you don't know how to help yourself. You don't even know what you need. You don't even have good habits. How can you expect that they're going to have good habits if you don't have good habits? Everything that we do, it flows from good morning. It flows from the head down. Vision without structure is frustration. And that's where many of you are right now in the build. You are frustrated. But here's the thing. There are no systems. There are no structure. I tell people when I say all the time, I'm telling people consistently that you have to have a system. You cannot get mad at people. This is why the Bible tells us, he says, write the vision and make it plain that he that readeth it can do what? They can run. Y'all hear me say this all the time. I'm not telling y'all nothing that you don't know. I'm just here to push y'all a little bit. People cannot run with what they cannot read. What are they reading? They don't know. There's nothing there. So we're mad at people. We're upset with people. You're frustrated with your executive pastor. You're frustrated with your executive assistant. You're frustrated with your employees because there's no structure. Do you have a handbook that says these are the rules? These are the regulations. This is the culture. This is your job description. This is how you need to conduct yourself. This is exactly how I need you to show up. If you don't have those things, you cannot be mad at nobody but yourself. I know this is a real tight conversation. I know it's a little hard. But I want us to build better. You mad because people don't shop with you. People don't buy with you. But you're also not consistent. People don't even know what they're buying. You post one day, then you don't post. You post about random things that don't even matter. And people are like, well, do she do this or do she do that? I really don't know what you do because you all over the place. People are confused about who you are. You post heavy, strong for 1 month, and then after that, we don't hear from you no more. They're like, well, does she still have the business? Does it still exist? They don't know because we're not consistent. So the problem is not, the failure aspect is what are you repeating? What are your habits looking like? And maybe you got into the place where you're like, I'm busy. I can't post like that. I can't do like that. Or maybe you don't know. This is why coaches come into play, right? I'm not here because you're incompetent. I'm not a coach because you don't know what you're doing. Sometimes it's just hard. This is what I like to say. It's hard for you to play the game and watch the tape. I'm here to walk alongside of you. I'm here to see what you cannot see. That's all a coach does. I'm like, hey, listen, Nikki, you're making the same mistake. Juanita, you keep doing this, and this is why you're not seeing results. This is what you need to do. This is how you need to adjust. You know what a coach does? They watch the players. They watch how they shoot. Good morning, Andre. They watch how the player is shooting. They watch how they're dribbling. They're watching how they're calling the plays. And they're like, wait a minute, let me pull you to the sideline. You need to adjust your hand. You need to adjust your posture. You need to move differently. That's not the play you need to call. I feel God, man. Listen, that's not the play you need to keep making. They're getting you every single time. Here, the enemy keeps catching you at this moment. This is why I always tell people, a lot of times they're like, is pastoring hard? And I'm gonna be honest, for me, I'm not gonna say that it's easy, but it's also not that hard too, because I understand my play, I understand my position. If pastors and leaders understood your position in people's life, I'm not here to be God. I'm not here to change who you are. That's God's job. What I'm here to do is help guide you. Hey, listen, move a little bit differently. That's not the way you want to do that. You need to speak a little bit better. You need to change your language. You need to adjust how you do things because you keep doing that and it's not getting you the results. As a coach, I'm here to do the same exact thing. Hey, listen, Andrea, you keep doing that play, and guess what? The enemy keeps tripping you up the same way every single time. I can see what you can't see. You're in it every day. You've learned how to make it work. I told them on Sunday, I said, some of us are surviving things you need to be healed from. That's my job as a coach. I'm here to help you be able to see that you have just been surviving. You're not thriving. You have got comfortable in just enough. Some of y'all in ministry, some of y'all in business, you have gotten comfortable in just doing the bare minimum. It gets me by. But for anybody on the line to say, hey, listen, I want to see success. I don't I want to just I want to stop having just enough, and not just in my resources, but just enough time. Come on, just enough to get by. I got just enough energy, but I don't realize that I'm wasting my oil. See, what coaches help us to do is to help you to stop wasting your oil, stop wasting your resources. You are taking up too much time doing this, and it's not yielding no results. But I can promise you that if you make this adjustment, then you will see results. That's what a coach is here for. Simple. Most of my clients, a good 90 days, I'm able to whip them in shape. Miss Juanita, know. Give me 90 days, and I promise you, you won't look the same. You won't talk the same. Vision without structure is frustration. We gotta get more structure. I'm not saying we don't leave room for the Holy Spirit, because we do. But can I tell you something? That the Holy Spirit, he loves structure. He likes excellence. He likes planning. He likes order. He thrives in order. And what we try to do is things are out of order. And what did I tell you guys? We keep trying to blame the devil. Spiritual warfare is what? Not poor planning. We don't plan well and say the devil didn't want me to have it. No, you didn't plan well. Your services are all over the place on Sundays. And we want to keep blaming the devil. No, your church don't got no structure. Your church doesn't have systems. People don't know where they're supposed to be, how they're supposed to show up. They don't know this is what you want them to do. Why? Because the ideas stay in your head and they never get to the paper. You come into your business and it's chaotic and it's all over the place. And you're like, oh, these people, they really don't want to work for me. No, they don't. They want to work for you, but you don't have no structure in what you're building. My kids don't want to help me. No, your kids don't know how to help because they ain't got no structure. So you come home every day and you're frustrated. Your kids they don't have a bedtime. They don't know how to clean their rooms. I don't care when my kids were younger, if I would keep the bucket method. Just throw everything in the bucket. At least it's up off the floor until I can teach you how to put things in different sections. I remember a lady came to my house and she was like, I didn't even, she was like, your house is just so clean. Like I didn't even know that you had kids here. It wasn't that I made my house unlivable, but I wanted my kids to understand that you got to clean up after yourself. Yes, in the beginning, it can be a little frustrating because you're like, oh my God, like I gotta teach them how to, I might as well do it myself. This is where some of you are right now in the delegation phase. Well, I might as well do it myself if I gotta teach them how to do it. That's the wrong answer. I would give them a rag and maybe they're messing up a little bit, but it's okay. Because after a while, they'll catch on. And for anybody right now on the line, and I feel this so strong, you have to give your people a chance. Give them a chance to mess up. Everything ain't got to be perfect. Y'all want these live streams to look a certain type of way and they got to look like perfection. I remember the days and the times when they would, my cousin to this day, I love him. Shout out to Briley. If y'all know Briley, Briley Harris, that is my cousin. I love him. Do you understand what I'm saying? I love him. He played for my father for years. But when Briley first started out, Briley would just come to church every week and he would just dun, 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 on the keyboard. And to some people, it was noise and it was annoying and it got on their nerves. But to this man, Briley is one of the best musicians out there. You know why? Because they gave him a chance. See, y'all mad because you don't want someone to get up and stumble over their words when they pray, and you don't want somebody to stumble over their words when they give a word, and so you want the live stream to look great and so grand and so wonderful. I don't care about no live stream. My goal is to train leaders. So if they mess up, if it don't sound great, if it don't look the way you want it to look, oh well. The best part about it is progression, and people will be able to see that maybe your year one looked like this, but my year 5 looked like this. My year 1 looked like we were all over the place, but by the time year 5, I feel God on this. By the time year 5 came, listen, we are doing amazing. And I know to some people, they're like, because of the tradition of what church has looked like, and you are the shepherd, and it's supposed to look like this. But here's the thing about it is that God never called me to be a dictator. God never called me to be a hoarder of people. When God talks about building disciples, he talks about building people. That's my job. And I can use myself as an example. My job is to build people. So even when it doesn't look polished, it's okay. After a while, they will get it. Give your team a chance. Let them mess up. Let it not look like perfection. It's okay. Because the goal is for them to understand that you have to train them. You have to train them. My aunt Wanda, she on right now. You have to train them so it don't sound good. It doesn't look. That's it today. About this time next year, it's going to look different. It's going to sound different. That's right. It's okay. Back in the day, they used to let them kids play on them drums and beat them drums. And sooner or later, they caught on. I got a nephew right now. Man, listen. And when I tell y'all in a couple years, that's going to be one of the baddest drummers, the baddest keyboard players. His mom is making the investment inside of him, getting him lessons. Going to be one of the baddest. He sits up there on Sundays with the drummer. Afterwards, we let him get on and beat a little bit. We're looking for perfection. That's the problem. The goal is not perfection. The goal is consistency. And the more consistent we are, the more we will see results. That's all I'm trying to say. So next Thursday, 7:30, vision without structure is frustration. I want y'all to be on. Ask your questions. Get the knowledge. If you are struggling with structure, that is going to be the time and the opportunity for you. I'm going to do a couple hot seat coaching moments. I don't always do those. A couple hot seat. Now, it's going to be real random. But for those of you to say, listen, I really need help, that'll be the time. You can also text Connect to that number. You can also just text that number. Text me your name and your information. Hey, listen, put in there, I need help. And I'm going to help you. But we're not going to be a people. We're not going to be um, people that keep talking about the same thing over and over and over again. And we're not producing results. You're not failing, you're repeating. That's the topic of the day. If you're just now joining us, that's what we're talking about. You're not failing, you're repeating. Hey, sis. That said, intention and consistency brings results and progression. Absolutely, Tanae. That sums up everything that we're talking about today. You're not failing, you're repeating. And we're repeating the same habits, and that's why we're not seeing results. You cannot keep, I got you, Miss Juanita. We cannot keep just throwing stuff out there and just thinking that miraculously it's going to be successful without doing the work. Your flyer's cute, your logo's cute, your website's cute. All of those things are cute. But the structure of what you're building, it's all over the place. So we got to build new habits. So listen, last week your challenge was, and I think Stacy taught us, last week our challenge was I wanted everybody to do one thing, whether it was write one chapter, whether it was write one section of your whatever, whatever it was. So Stacy, she said one thing, she wrote one page of her book. And so she said instead of sleeping and praying, that's what she has been doing. Amazing. Listen, this is our accountability time. All right. Instead of sleeping, she said, I decided that I am going to write one page of my book. That's it. Don't be afraid to ask for help. So I'm going to challenge you guys. All right. You guys know every week is going to be a challenge. My challenge for you today is, what is one habit you need to change? What is one habit? And I don't care if it's, I need to stop drinking soda. I don't care if it's, I need to spend 30 minutes on my business. I need to spend 30 minutes in prayer. I need to put my kids on a schedule, right? I need to stop letting my kids go to bed at any time, but I need to give them a bedtime. One thing I'm going to do is have my kids in bed by 9 o'clock every single day. That's it. That's what God gave me, consistency. Absolutely. Consistency is what yields results, not perfection. You ain't going to be perfect. But what is that one thing you're going to do? And this is my one thing. I said, I'm going to show up. I cannot commit to every day going live. I don't have that kind of time. But I said every week I'm going to commit to going live once a week, every week. I got you on one. I'm praying. Every week I said I'm going to go live. So this morning I was tired. I was like, I'm tired today. But you know what I said? I said, you know what? I'm going to get up. I'm going to be consistent. We had camp last week, y'all. I let somebody else open up camp and I went live. Why? Because I said, I want to show up. I want to be consistent, not perfection. I want to be consistent in my building. I built up everybody else's stuff for such a long time. And I had to stop and say, when are you going to build for yourself? When are you, for the same level of sacrifices that you make for everybody else? It was like, when are you going to make those same sacrifices for you? And maybe that's some of you today. That said, I have sacrificed for everybody else. I've done for everybody else. And some of you are frustrated because you're looking at your life and you're like, you feel like you don't have nothing to show for it because you spent so much time to build everybody else's thing that you never stopped to build your own. But guess what? You still got more time. You do. You still got more time to build. Your life is not over. Every day that you have breath in your body is still another opportunity for you to do what you need to do. I'm telling y'all, I tell this, I love her. She was one of my sweetest clients. And I had a client that was married for 25 years, y'all, 25 years. She was married for 25 years. And she was married for 25 years and got a divorce. When she got a divorce, she never worked in those 25 years. Do y'all know that this woman at the age of 52, 53, she went back to law school. And afterwards, she practiced law for 24 years, somewhere around there. My numbers may be a little off, but I know it was 20 something and I know she was 50 something. That's what I do know. Never too late. You might have said, I spent all of my years taking care of my children and I made these sacrifices. And I'm like, where is what I wanted, what I said that I would do? It's never too late. Never too late to go after it. Never too late to pursue it. You still got time. Every day that you got breath in your body is another opportunity for you to work what you said and to work what you desired. So that's all I had for you guys today. Ooh, I stayed right on my 1 hour. I said I wasn't going to go over. But you're not failing, you're repeating. And so let's create better habits. All right. If you know someone that needs this live, share this live with someone. Listen, if you're struggling with your consistency, with your structure, listen, text structure to that number. I'll drop the link for you guys to sign up wherever you see the link to sign up. Sign up for this webinar. Now, I want those of you that are really serious, right? Don't come on if you're not really serious, okay? But for those of you that are, because I'm not all about numbers. Y'all know me. I get on with 2. I get on with 1. I don't care. I want the people that are really serious about really bringing structure to their life on this live next Thursday, because I want the people that want to be in the room, not the people that are not ready to make the necessary adjustments. That's it, Stacey. It's time for you to put you first. That's it. So for those of you that are serious about what you are building, I want you to be on this webinar, this class next week. It's free. I'm not gatekeeping. If you need it, come get it. But for those of you that are serious, next Thursday, 7:30, I want to see y'all on the line. Bring your questions, bring your notebook, treat it like you're going into a business class, right? Eliminate destruction and eliminate distractions. Put it on your calendar. Don't be, and there's nothing wrong with driving. Don't get me wrong, because some of y'all may be coming home, but make it a point to be in a position so that you can learn. Sometimes, even for Bible study, and I'm getting ready to go. Even for Bible study, right? We're like driving, cooking, doing all these kind of things when we're not focused. Start your dinner earlier. Put your dinner in a crock pot, but be intentional in real teaching moments. So for those of you, when you get on, put it on your calendar so it's real. Don't just treat it like, oh, like, well, it's just like this Zoom, I can just watch. No, I want you to be very intentional about being very interactive in that moment. Ask your questions, get what you need, take the notes so that you can be better. She said, guys, Pastor Takara don't play, so be ready to sweat in tears, but it will be well worth it. I don't play because I want us to build better, period. So that's all I have for y'all today. I'm going to go and take me a little nap because I'm a little tired, but I love y'all so much, and I want us to build what we are building well. If you know someone that's struggling in their build, know someone that's struggling in their consistency, and you know that they're serious about change, send them this webinar and tell them, hey, listen, sign up. All right. I love y'all so much, and I pray y'all have a great day.